Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and UConn has beaten Miami in the Final Four. What a game between these two. Not as close as the first one, not as entertaining as the first game we got to witness between San Diego State and Florida Atlantic. This was a game I thought would actually be really close. I thought this would be a really tight game. But at the same time, and I did say this in my prediction video, that if UConn gets off to a fast start in the first half and they have a double-digit lead, have a lead that is between 12 to 15 in the first half, that Miami really has no hope of coming back. And that happened. I did think it would be a first close half, which I think that would keep Miami in the ball game, and it didn't. It didn't pan out. They 37-24 in the first half. It was pretty even in the second half. Miami, they kept control, but it wasn't enough. Both teams scored 35 points in the second half. They lose this game 72-59. Miami, great season, upsetting a lot of teams like Texas and Houston, and two teams that, if they would have made this tournament, made this Final Four, would have been big for the state in Houston, Texas. Stopped the team with the Cougars, the #1 team in the nation. This Final Four that was in their city, that they were trying to play for a Final Four in their city, which would have been huge. Stop them. Texas, even though the Cougars are the big team, in the state, there are a lot of Longhorns fans in the city of Houston. That is another big population of college fans. A lot of Longhorns fans in Houston. Miami takes them down as well. Came back as well from a deficit. So Miami had a really successful tournament. Great team, great coach, and really just did everything to make it all the way to the Final Four, and they were just short. And a bad first half, they couldn't catch up to UConn. UConn, if you fall down to UConn, you can't come back. I just don't think it's possible, because once UConn has a lead, I don't think they're gonna let it go. And yeah, so props off to Miami. They're a great team. They had a great year. They had a great tournament, a great month in this March Madness. But like I said, it wasn't enough for them to make it all the way to the national championship. Now, UConn heads on to the national championship to play San Diego State on Monday. I think that's going to be a great game. It's going to be so entertaining to see who takes that national championship trophy. Let's go over some of the stats from this game for UConn. You got Sanago with their leading scorer being 21 points and 10 rebounds, and then 13 for Jordan Hawkins. And then for Miami Hurricanes, you got Wong with 15, and then 11 for Miller. And he also had a double-double with 10 rebounds. Great game. And I know it wasn't a close one, but still a good game. UConn played a great game. Miami had a great tournament. They had a decent game. They had a struggled first half, had a decent second half, but it wasn't enough for them to come back. They couldn't make the push. They couldn't even get it to single digits. So like I'm saying, once UConn gets a lead, you can't let it. You ain't going to let it. There's a really good chance they're not going to let that lead go. So my advice to San Diego State would be don't let UConn get ahead in that national championship game on Monday, because if you do, I think San Diego State, they're definitely a team that can come back. They've came back in a couple games in this March Madness tournament, but UConn is a hard team to come back against. So with their good defense, they're good at offense, so it's going to be really interesting to see who takes on this national championship. Right now, I'm betting on UConn. I think they have to be the favorites, but I think anybody has a shot. You guys have your thoughts on both of today's games between Miami and UConn, and San Diego State and Florida Atlantic? Fun to watch, especially when it's in your city. I didn't go to these events. I could have. I don't think I would. I don't think I had a chance to go to the game. I had a chance to go to some of the festivities. Went to the Stros game instead. But it's been great for the city of Houston. Like I said that in a couple other videos talking about the Astros game. I was doing the Astros post-game yesterday. I was talking about how how bad it was in downtown because of the Astros game going on, and then also the March Madness stuff going on. But I said, it's been great for the city. So many people in town for this thing, and Who knows? Maybe I will go to the national championship. I don't know what's going on, but you guys have your thoughts on this game, both games from today, both phenomenal games. Congrats to all the teams that made it to these Final Four. I mean, it's a really big honor to even play in the Final Four. Out of 72 teams, you were the Final Four that made it into that big tournament. So, yeah. Next is UConn and San Diego State on Monday night. I don't know the time. I don't think they've announced, or they might have announced it yet, but it wasn't announced earlier. I'd probably bet around 7 something or 8, maybe 8. I don't know. Probably about 7:40 something. Probably the same time the Miami UConn started tonight at 7:49. So you guys have your thoughts on today's games, and that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.